Hello guys, McBowtop here, and I also have a Red Bull. Today we're playing Of the Devil. If you don't know what that is, you're about to find out. But, alright, this game is about murder mystery. Have you ever played Danganronpa or ever heard of it? It's kind of like that, mixed with Ace Attorney. I really like this game. I've played it a little bit, and I'm thinking about buying the other episodes to play those too. Rain sizzles off neon above me. Summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and a slight blunting of the night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. The city's got insomnia, with an uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the second-hand nervous energy all of it all. But I'm pretty acclimated. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of light and life anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. Oregon. Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in handcuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole city, this whole world's lit up. Mapped out, never unknown, and always online. Where it's incandescent, neon, or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's light shining on every last pixel of the map, and someone's always watching. Solitude's rarity and anonymity is scarce, and criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers anymore. So you take whatever client you can get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. And should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke them if you got them. Not that there's much else I can do until my phone. Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Please enter your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at 15 minutes early. I'll try. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now, 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably it's about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll have to use that time to get some rest. Because now I'm here, things are going to get busy. Of the Devil, episode 0. Very cool. I do like the opening sequence. Little on the nose with the writing, but I do like it. And he shall appear. Disable tutorials. You can turn them back on in settings. I already played this game. Let's enable tutorials. Let's do it. It'll be fine. Let's get the experience for you all to see. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town. Nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. Our clearance rates have been damned. I think they treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever. If I'm not unimportant, they got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash on my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. Heads up! What's the phone or the phone icon? Top left. Okay. You guys can read that, but I already know. right now. Datapad, I'll bite. Even when there's more advertising in an article, it can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Keep an eye out for articles in the environment. They offer insight. Articles are added to your phone's reading list. Choose the proper takeaway after reading them, and you'll earn additional credits. I already read this. I read the entire thing too. But the takeaway is canopy. There'll be increased scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. Massive project with massive budget lines of pockets of all the people. Big and small. None of them would appreciate the bad press at the moment. Not when Councilman Long has already thoroughly chummed the waters. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Although museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had a witness making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe that they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memories, formations, blah blah blah, poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. So there's no room to sow doubt anymore. Now when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording, assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police for them. Bench. Hi, traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations, pragmatic brutalism, so textbook it could teach a freshman level architecture. So here the building drone on and on about concrete and iron, hard right angles. Civilian planning equivalent of battle scars. From a fight so long ago, it's starting to look ridiculous, but I'm sure it was all very opposing back when it was built. But walking here now, with crime rates are they are now, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Okay. To make this more fun, I think I'm going to do voices. I think this will be more fun for me if I do that. And I have a fly harassing me today. So he's gonna be here with me. Medium's cracked on the corner. Looks bad, but the phones are made of the same stuff I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Could probably null the warranty if on one of these with things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still studently scrolling through its notifications. That's the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts to offensive pop culture trivia. You always get fake billings, but there's a few missing persons too. 1 year silver plane coverage, courtesy of the Caterpillar. Silver's not the joke. Yeah, no, he said silver. Family must be getting desperate. Alright. I've taken all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. Voodoo of just signed. So far, so good. Good morning! Morgan here for the public defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Great! Please stand here still for a moment. I feel like I should be doing a robot voice, but, I don't care. I wouldn't call Intake Hollows charming, more like harmless. That's probably what the designs were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their tech, as long as it never speaks out a turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far, so good, was it? Just, scan my card. Why don't you scan my ID card? Great! Now could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why did they even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile. I'd have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday is really cool. It doesn't tell you to get you have to learn this yourself by going to her profile. And it is December 26th. December 26th. Perfect! Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival
and for taking on this public defender contract. And if you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to Counseling Quarter 3C.
Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room?
I'm sorry that caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards.
Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. You call it involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel. A stifled box of one-way panels. I see, but their own reflection duly warped across gunmetal walls.
Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else?
We can actually ask her about that. I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty?
This facility is currently undergoing renovations.
Since when? The 60s?
It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated.
They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they?
I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered.
I'm adaptable. What about you? Ever gonna fix that crack?
Thank you for asking. It's not interfere with my work.
Well, that's all that matters, right? What are you? What are you?
I'm a smart user interface. Proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I can send you a link with the information about our subscription packages. I send you a link with the information about our subscription packages.
No. Sorry. That's a mean question to ask. That'll be all. Thank you.
You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office through the door to your right.
Thanks. But I think it's just me for now. So you can go on break if you like.
Automated bandits do not take breaks.
Morgan.
Counselor.
Then what are you doing here before I walk in? You'll find the... Okay.
You'll find the counselor quarters past our homicide detective's office.
To the door, to the right. Thank you. Ads don't get breaks. They don't get any jokes. But it's usually the humorless types that are most fun to mess with anyway. Ice Scott Patterson? A voice. No, voices coming from down the hall. I heard yours? Probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. The building this empty. The desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. One voice sounds older, rougher, sadly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. God forbid you try to be serious. All the other rings with youthful indignation. I don't really know how to say that. I don't really know how to make that voice. Not like our job is important or anything. No, that's more like nerdy voice. Youthful indignation. I'll come up with some. Definitely cops. And at this precinct at this hour, they might be the only 2 living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? 1 document, or 100. Looks the same on a data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know them better than their priest, their mother, their big brother. I wasn't going to say that. So, how many of those sheets were blank then? No red carpet tonight, officers? Oh. Sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extras around at these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. Said that in the deep voice. You the liar? I am Morgan Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Quasem London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? She certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarettes. Cigarettes? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. We're the detectives in charge of this particular case. And it looks like tonight, we're also your humble guides to this illustrious amazing homicidal department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. Never struck me as more than some old timer. My god. I need to clear my throat. Oh, well, I didn't read that. Oh god, guys. I'm messing up here. Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Rigid in her posture, her attitude, 3 in the morning, her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? 2 whole detectives working at these hours. Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene? No, we're not near that timing. Universe responded to emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around, you think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We're only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicating involvement of an ongoing investigation. Our ongoing investigation. I'm forgetting the voices. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? May as well bite at this point. So you suspect this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's a heartbreak killer in that room. And we got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him bleed it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm on the other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under? Is there a problem? You're seriously never familiar with HK? Never heard of him. I've heard enough about him for a lifetime. His name has been plastered over the city for weeks. Their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. The presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. Street quarters in the media or the net, everyone's indulging in the exact kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. And right now, I need to figure out how much the police do or do not know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else. 1 bullet straight through the heart. While you left to die where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. I'm not exactly creative. But amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at the shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. It takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Sounds robotic. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it's not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky. Guess they're all fire and blanks, right? Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades. They don't commit murder, though. Right. Evil, like heartbreak, is all organic. It's a very terrifying thought. Should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders? Well, you can only blame yourself for missing the 5. Pardon? You still not getting it? HK's 6th victim was found a few hours ago. We caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this heartbreak killer, and tonight was just his latest crime. That's a serious accusation with serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up too? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? Well, you say certainty sounds compelling. Is that the lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all in the discovery files. And the ARCs, of course. Join the local net on your phone, and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll sure to read it over. And if that's all the same, could I ask you some questions while I still got you here? What kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney, you're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. Not like we're going to be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your client stew in the interrogation room all night. I don't care. Interro, you mean the counseling quarters? We're at your disposal, counselor. Baron Stark, uninviting. This must be a raised desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single mote. That is a word, but mote of personalization. Is she so new that she hasn't had time to unpack, or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. You shouldn't have cleaned up so much just for little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even just a stapler. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. And he's really old-fashioned, or he's really paranoid about data leaks. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Data pad. I'm pretty sure I got this wrong last time I read this. It's talking about robots that are warm, like they're turning human. He's in the news again. So longer I can't spit while laying a piece of noble tech these days. Really not when the states evolve. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to war androids, though. The government used to just too frail. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. So if these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rock to the cheek, there's an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. Loose wires, missing panels, and air conditioning system. That probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit. I expected to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide, but I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. We got a stunning clearance rate, and they work fast. Just sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, with what our dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget. Dumping grounds for the police force most unambitious and least popular. Okay, nothing else jumps out at me around here. Got a better idea of who I'm dealing with, at least. I need to check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to state files regarding a case. KL433511. Reply C to confirm. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I am an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. C. Thank you. Alright, if I project from my phone. Oh, here we are. Alright, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. Stand-up mirror shatter and knocked over. Real glass and screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from its arm while shards of glass were scattered. Far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. The murder weapon, a revolver found right next to the body. Empties 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the dang thing. But all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. Let's see this. The victim's body. Cause of death? Ballistic trauma. Class 5 blood loss. Class 4 blood loss. Atrium and aorta. Single gunshot wound to the heart and brief. Death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else. No blood or skin under nails. Blood splatter forensics and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. So the killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. Seemed like the vase got tossed aside at some point. Not a scratch on it. Must be turning damn and terrible. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. It's from all the big ticket items. What about the security? The apartment was unlocked all night. It's uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this, but no signs of forced entry only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. There's a lounge chair that got thrown in. Whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris. Flagged as irrelevant. That's their technical assessment? Because even crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Alright. That's everything the police highlighted. But did I miss anything? You did miss something. Ah. The hell is that? Something in the victim's hand? How the hell did it... Oh, it's just a pill organizer. Looks like immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and Chiprexazone, a synthetic glucurotoid medication taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain. Topsy said her talk screen was clear, but not like it matters. She could swallowed every medicine in the cabinet in the city and still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything else in here is very incriminating, but the kicker is everything was not here. No out of place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that points towards anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less before. Not much more. I'm gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get a start. What the hell's mentioning me at this time of night? First person to come to mind is... I suppose it could be something important. Red! What couldn't wait till morning? Good news, of course. Got a job for you. Reach your way of telling me you violated your parole. No, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and a phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least you made me finish. What did they do? Make me run laps. Not illegal. Let me finish. Make me run laps. even though I said I had a stomach ache. Said. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference. Or some kind of shit. Sounds like you already got a strong case for yourself. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See? Is that your mugshot? I was not gonna get a copy of my shot and use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case. But I'm working right now. Anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid things kids your age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines, old-fashioned murder like Hardy B is, like quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why do you take the job? You seen a 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something. Taking up lost cause because Nozoid? It's pro bono? It's autocorrect? No, you give a reason to homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. You're just a sucker. Not a sucker. Nice phrasing. You should go to bed, friend. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up all if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Today is Saturday. What's with the carpe diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You got school in 3 hours. Dang. Repeat offenders may get good business. But that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me on a few details. By the way, I couldn't help but notice you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? Thought there'd be at least a few androids around. Aren't many androids in any police station this week. Not while the brass was renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest. Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corp here is. It's been all day in the center without leaving their offices in shadows. Yes. We're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saved us some money on shipping at least. But these talks will never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even when Noble pushing those warning androids? Warm, yeah. Might as well call it an adult line. Might see them in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective yet. Guess we should be expecting those any day now. Maybe android lawyers too. Get some android politicians in and we have a full set. Get real. People might like ads who do what they're told, but they despise ads who told them what to do. I'm not so sure. Cameras, sensors, satellites? We're all to get our information from machines anyways. Give it a few more years, and it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. Union would. The police union wouldn't let that happen. And yeah, specify it's the only real union there is anymore. So how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Backer Flat, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already? They really do think he's a serial killer. In charge of being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, Miss Diane Dawn. First degree, that's increasingly rare. To say the least. It's the rare for us to get handed everything. Anything but crimes of passion around here. There's goddamn more cameras than people. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try to get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what would that make of him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference to say he's extraordinarily insane. But the nutjobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So what makes you think this was premeditated? How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies, crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So this serial killer chose his victims at random, if they have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than they all look like cousins. The physical simulators are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women, brown hair and eyes, and about the same height. Comparable weight. Well, those features aren't exactly uncommon, and couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HJ's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You're really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from the portrait. Oh, she's not speaking. I don't know why I'm saying this like that. Can't tell how tall she is from the portrait, but I can take the hint. So you think, what exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly that he went out and shot 5 other women for us. Hey, if the shoe fits, then you put the shoe on the... What sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by first practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just gone so far gone, they can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. I want to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. If that were the case, there would have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There would have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend over look like usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile, if you ask me. Timeline. I saw the time of death was 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. But we managed thanks to less biased sources. And we're pretty confident about that. We've been able to piece together from their statements. So the interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 p.m. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us about the Happy's cultural domestic problems. Everybody in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks, as you probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs. There was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. But things go quiet around sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp, but we've heard enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right. Emergency service got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 p.m. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was, but the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the street about 9 p.m., establish a perimeter, enter through the building's front door at 9:10 p.m., and then they find your client, crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point they move to secure the scene, and the suspect... Sorry, did you say his hand singular? Your client's modded. Cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with a Heyo 85 Halibus. Industrial grade looks like. Say you spec for dexterous manipulation up to class 4 KPA, which means a minimum growth rate of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Considering a career change? No, it's just that your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And I thought you were just a 14-year-old sense of fashion. Think a cop would have a dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? Getting back on track, that arm of his has been in the shop for quite some time now. You can't work without it. Money got tight. Arguing? Yeah. When he put his arm for repairs? 8 days before the HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance they'll be willing to chalk that up to a coincidence. Your client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver, and no one else's. A revolver, what kind? The old kind, the real old kind. Specifically, a Calvert M54. 6-chambered, 10mm. Calvert, how retro. You don't know half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin. And no tags. No tags, how's that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp for trigger pull, safety coded to boner biometric. For the past 3 decades, tags made shooting crimes very unambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? How else do you think he got away with the other 5 times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, probably failed the very first psych check. And even jam-broken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sits in. So then M54, that's model year 2054. 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 left in the whole country. If you were still compatible with bullets. Ammunition would have been used. Have to be over 30 years old too. The novelty of this weapon has kept in us dark so far, but now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put them away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig, but with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets of the gun to the gun that the client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets found from guns that old are marked with barrel shape. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, we know they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug and play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. And if that's not damning enough, the spent cases from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber, without even needing to reload. The caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. On-tag gun. And when you're a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used to 5 other crime scenes is just, to summarize then, you believe my client, Bob Beverly, then physically with his girlfriend, and then he retrieved his weapon and shot her? Yeah, pretty much. How do you look when the officer found him? Guilty. How was his effects? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost some points with the cops, but beyond that, people react in all types of ways. As long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. And we're at the end. Checking my phone here, and all I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable sites are still doing some real juristic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah. Top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists though. All kinds of emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders are in general are endangered species, but he's gotten away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. National DNA registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen, violent crime at an all-time low, and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you're gonna spout out some poll bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along, Good point. Lynn's trying to look like he can laugh it off, but pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need to see someone charge, and that makes them predictable. Yeah, well, even if there's nothing standard about HK, Department SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way we do feed them. They're grateful for whatever scraps they get. Well, we can't take all the credit of this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. How's that even possible? I know there's some rough areas in the lower wards, but Optics is watching every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? Do you think we would let him just kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, ma'am, but Optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the state's security network. It's not perfect. It's another one of many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one every few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details, digital bureaucracy involved, but the end result is that there's occasional localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small and short, and taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. If mentioned that my client was a cop, then he wouldn't have needed... If he had mentioned that my client was a cop, he wouldn't have needed a public defender. His file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not text interfacing, but that leaves city planning. He works for construction? HK is only struck at times in locations where Optics would be down. Even with the devil's own luck, it can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed, yeah, there was a blackout from around 8 to 9 tonight, right on schedule, so to speak, and it included the area surrounding this victim's apartment. Well, about the DNA from the other crime scenes, was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage, no forensics, no motives, no tampering, no witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics, no matter how you dress it up with all the tech and all the detective work relies on one basic assumption. People may make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we even caught him tonight, because he was finished for what he had to set out to do all along. So, my client was on the list of suspects before tonight. Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some X's. I fused the eyes. Someone even spoke to one or two of the unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. It was talked about starting on some kind of psych eval or something. But I never expected too much to come of that. It was just not enough here to work with. In other words, the only thing that they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. I can just drop the back keys on the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for that, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit refined to be brought before a judge, I think. Hey, it's our only job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets a conviction. Besides, got a stuffy nose, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I don't know what's happening. Think maybe there's something blooming out there and I just don't know it. Anyways. Besides, we're not exactly have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Well, that's unexpected. I'm sorry. You're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. We have the muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get it to pass the front of the line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you. It doesn't exactly make for light reading. I have to manage somehow. I need to see the confession. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. I didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not. Sick. Want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. I'm not in control. I hurt people without meaning to. I wish I hadn't broken them. Meant to at first. I was hurting. I wanted you to hurt too, but I didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough, and I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. That was difficult to read. Very legible, in fact. So I'm guessing it was a transcript, and that's why there was sick right there. Got to spin on that? No need. But it's a confession! Not a confession that I signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one that he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer, and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flushed out with work that I can afford to turn tail now, so if you don't mind, I might to go speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to the man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual, and that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off if you don't mind. Mike's on and off is your call, counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuff, that is, stays on. That worried about me? How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor's practically blinding. Gross, I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, one last word of advice. If any interest in well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way, but the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That is a capital crime, if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they draw up for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but it keeps him from, well, it's probably a win for your client, right? But generally lighter for those plead guilty, and that much is true. It saves the court a great deal of time and money when they show their gratitude. But no one will ever be grateful towards a heartbreak killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind for another day in your life. Dude. Doob. Oh, I see. It's depressing as hell in here. They need to liven this place up. Carlos flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We've got a lot to cover. But this shouldn't take all night. What are you? Look, I told you people, I'm not a cop, Carlos. First thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here, kept repeating the whole ride over. They said they were going to help me. They knew this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed. Then like they were on my side. And they thought I could have. It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. Need to be more information, but if I approach it the wrong way, he'll just clam up. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak, but I'd like you to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure, but they were treating you as a suspect, not a client. Okay. So what do you want to know? If I go for the victim, he may claim up. If I talk about the murder, he may claim up. So we're reading about you. Let's start simple. Something mundane, grounded, wrote. I'd like to know a bit about you, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you up in? I'm with Synergy Engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought, the police must have been convinced the mapped. Okay. Can't speak today. The police must be convinced he mapped the optic blackouts using data he stole from the work. My arm. I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? Since engineering that desk job, Ray said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment. But based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty utilitarian. Yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. Young and restless and rich, swapping in neon chrome limbs because they like it the way it looks, or it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and he's very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. A whole career path, the promotions and bonuses and the upgrades they before him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results probably informed that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad they didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured it. I started all at such small. I hand her eye, test the water. Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off. But the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, because of NCDA, there was financial aid and the resources. Of course, that got shit canned. So now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Can't even let me keep the tax credit. The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended and not repealed. But I doubt he appreciated the distinction at the moment. I worked in tighter spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know. Speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him. The right word choice here, there, could still make a difference. You work on the canopy, you must be under a lot of pressure, because we read that article, guys. We're doing good. Must be a lot of pressure, now that the subways are cordoned off. Damn straight! And this crap with Long? Once word got out that the case was against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that internal affairs is gonna come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book. Means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving. No room for engineering. Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups. He's very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why are you wearing your prosthetic arm right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues. Starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection, did the therapy not take? It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then does this rejection issues have to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So the cuts on his face are just from shaving? Never thought I'd go on this long after we learn how to do everything. I mean, the problem starts small, trembling, but then spasms. Just over sensitivity, they said. An easy fix. But the problem got bigger? Oh, yeah, that was me. But the problem got bigger? Couldn't let it get that far. Needed to be able to trust your own hands when you're at the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, and turned my arm in. And watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Where did you turn it in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list. Like you wouldn't. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no! I found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. But as long as I'm renting and not owning. The manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stuff for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Boss were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement for yourself just in the meantime? I serve at the pleasure of the state, and they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white knuckle tight. Hindi. Hale Industries. As I recall, you registered one of their Habilis models. If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines, I lose down payment and my arm. I never work in the city again. If this was last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with the management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that longs in deep, hot shit. You mentioned this. Okay, well, my recording decided to quit because of storage issues, but I think I got that fixed. Hold on a second, let me make sure. Yep, all fixed up. Gonna have to stitch those 2 things back together. It's gonna be great to see in editing. It's gonna take a long time. Anyways, so we missed a couple things, but we can check the backlog. We press L. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. The itches that kill ya. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything arm-shaped attached to me. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a dead weight. 3-jointed landfill, bait piece of shit. Sorry. It's a very shitty feeling. Having a part of your body that, they cut corners on. It fits. It's compatible, technically. I can slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep or dead. So you were wearing it when... You were wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. And I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging at his evidence, so... Couldn't have gone too far. So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he's found. Yeah, the victim's blood on his left arm only. Because in the time of question, he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far. He's opened up about as well as we can be expected, but this has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Also tweaked something with the game audio. So, it may be a little bit quieter, just a little bit. Probably not too bad. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved? How long did you 2 know each other? Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually, we just got together at some point. Guess I never asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics. Focused her studies on agriculture. Always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out the gate. Practically headhunted. You believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company be lucky to have her. I'm like, it was a real ass job. Paid real ass money too. Her career was starting to plan out. Right as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. What was she hired? Pedigree? No, Perigi Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's like under Harco's umbrella. It doesn't narrow it down. Harvest Corporation grows a third of its soybeans and corn from the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. No corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco is the same time as big businesses get. Particularly like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that. They had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted to her new job? Yeah, they love having her there. She never mentioned arguments or disputes, corporate politics getting rough. I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that could deserve what happened to her. It's a long shot, hoping that a disgruntled character from her past should shift blame onto. No other suspects. I can't just reshuffle the detective's positions. I will have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was. Now, I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Start from the beginning. Take your time. The details are important. Alright, Miss, Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We've been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working. Haven't been making money. Haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money! The reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m. 8? Yeah, that must have been where it started. We got into it and I said a lot of things I shouldn't have. And I said one thing that I really shouldn't have. I crossed the line and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah, I walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid. And while I was pissing away the time, Darian was... Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off. I didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. The dock is down. The traffic and street level cameras will help him, and that leaves. Did you go through a checkpoint? Talk to anyone? Modded eyes? Did you buy anything? Cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I mean, I'm a match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I was just quiet at the time. I wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry, I don't have all the details straight. My head is... Well, if my exact route would help. The cam's probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? There's no other proof that you were out at the time Darian was killed. Meaning you have no alibi. This can't. Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't. Carlos, I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's get it all out there and see what we got to work with. Alright. Now you said you left to clear your head. What made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And if it came from the direction of our apartment, and I was walking back at first, but at some point I must have started running because when I got back I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't. You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, the first floor apartment, street facing the entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was. The lights were off. The whole room was a mess. Thought we had been robbed, or she fallen, or there was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name, and she didn't move. I checked her pulse, and she was still warm. Her blood was still warm. And I saw the gun. It looked so heavy. But I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Picked it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it! Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies, bad lies especially. For me, it's always been an easy spot. But it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's never been defensive. And none of this works, he doesn't trust me. Your client knows what they'll know. If they don't... If they know that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact, and we know because of your prints. It's the fact that your fingerprints are on the gun. What about I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just... Carlos. All I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? Explains how his prince got on the gun. But in that way, not satisfied with the police, and still, if all he did was... Did I just break my chair? No! Did I? Oh no! No way. Did it just bend on me? Yes, it just bent on me. It's a cheap chair, but I didn't think it was gonna break. I have one of those folding chairs for my desk right now. I was not sitting with all fours, you know. I was sitting back in it. Boy, that's gonna get annoying. Still, if all he did was hold the gun, so stupid. I know what the gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home right in front of you were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in, and sometime after that, I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast. See, my rest of the night probably went the way you expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room was thrashed when you got back. To clarify, you saying that you never had a physical fight? What? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say that we did? They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred, considering what Carlos had told me, and what else did they assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. A crime scene? Oh, it's an AR module built from the data taken as the police? Right, it's just that. It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try to focus on what was out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say comes what comes to mind. I don't know exactly where everything was, but the mirror was upright, of course. And that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point. The bed got tossed. The cushions were torn. The urn fell. Other than that, no, sorry, that's all that stands out to me. Is there anything I can do to make this thing not bend while I'm sitting in it? I'm sorry, guys, for this interruption. Oh my god. I gotta sit in it right. I gotta stop doing what I'm doing. I see you like so. What's that? What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, I need you to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. It's just, I guess I assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing was pretty good, considering... I'd like you to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter, what do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper. I say things I don't mean to. So this morning, I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her, instead of just fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them? That's I broke her fidget tubbies. What? Her what? Her fidget tubbies. They're these collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters? She loves those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I was swinging it half the time. I got so angry, I ripped it off, tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless. Okay. So you did break her fidget duckies with the replacement arm. Does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it was a confession for the Heartbreak killing anyway, I couldn't even bother to sweep him up. I felt so. Alright, Carlos. Thanks for answering my questions. Now, I'm going to call the police back in here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask, what do you know about the Heartbreak killer? Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but sure everyone's on edge with a guy like that out there. He shoots people through the heart, right? Kept victims' appearance far away from the upsetting news sources, but unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? He's still on the uptake. We're gonna be a real shock when this officer walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. Just have to squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. 4 a.m. now. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right. I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It'll be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up! I've got the reveling experience in a lot of other areas. Uh-oh. And, what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I don't go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't you touch the stuff? I meant more like playing cards. Oh. Well, then, no to that, too. I actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Well, what I do like is a lot of poker. Poker's nice, because even when you dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. In this metaphor, we're playing poker and the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they are the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can, win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually, someone will come over, tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear, and then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's a strategy? What's up? You know this saying about gamblers with strategies. Yo! Ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. District attorneys have final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair that the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long protracted trials, and they all just like having their time wasted. Unfortunately, they're guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right! What she said. Got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time, kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession? Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The rest of every new argument starts with the facts. It's already known what's agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint by number stuff. See, we found the note at the apartment with the fingerprints on it. Apologizing for how you hurt them all so bad. How are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night. And now I got the weapons to answer anything they try to throw at me. Well, My client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He's apologizing for analyze the facts as they're laid out, review the responses in your hand, select the card that best answers the argument, and place it in the slot on the right. You can mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder on what you're answering. He wrote a confession. He wrote a note about the Teletubbies. Or whatever that was. What the hell is that? I found myself asking the same question. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, right? Pure, non-GMO, augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit for sure. But I was more referring to unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase wasn't damaged. It's not possible that debris came from the vase, because that vase is still pristine. How is that? How's that possible? Oh. The lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I tried a thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote the apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am, because that pile of rubble on the is all that remains of the victim's collections of Fidget Attack, Fidget Tubbies. What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. Well, in agreement that my client wrote the note. We can plainly see that the ceramic debris are at the crime scene. Since it couldn't come from the vase, it must come from the collectibles. Simple, right? Hell you on about? The entire room was trash. The arcs clearly shows. And those Fidget Tubbies must have got pulverized during the struggle too. You're really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles weren't destroyed. No, the collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Because I'm gonna guess it's the arm. But let's take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One slap of your fingers should show exactly how devastating it was to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's Fidget Tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody, and I'm sure your techs found the ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine. Whatever. He broke him with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arms got an operating system that logged the time it was warm, right? Right. See, I haven't spawned a footnote at the lab report saying the rental admin used since the AM. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, sunshine. I'm just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how he scrawled how panicked that note was. You expect me to believe that he was upset over a Fidget Tubby collection? One that wasn't even graded? Saying aside, Detective Ray's surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles. You're correct. They had no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, the panic's not what you're saying on the page. No, the only reason the notes looked the way it was because Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that have been on my permanent record or something? So the reason that notes looks like an sign on the wall scribble is because he had to use his left arm to use it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. Just thought it would be good practice. Taking that all into account, alongside the ceramics, your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishing net. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You established that your clients are remorseless. Now that we get back to the reality of the situation, here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to the big old goddamn gun. And that just so happened to leave his fingerprints on it. That's right, the coat is... What, you're gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? Trying to bait me in her typical low-key fashion. We'll always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can, dude, hold your tongue. Try to lose as little credit as possible. Must have no sense of playing into it. Would you like to ask me, detective? I'm curious. What'll be next? You gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? It won't let me raise, but he doesn't wear an extra small. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah. Sure, there's no evil twin you forgot to mention? There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. I'm gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime. It was innocent one needs to get there eventually. Going down now without hard evidence. I can't prove a third party. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. Glorious day in the arts. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being in there that night. So keep daydreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I was going to win the hand either way, but at least I didn't overstep it, taking more damage that I had to. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client needs 3 minutes to hold that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene, which was not smart. Hey, but it's not illegal either. And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier just to show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure. I could use a fresh air. Things are bullshit in here anyway. You ever thought the room smelled like... Morgan, what are you doing? My coat is covered in her blood. I remember that much. That doesn't, like, make me look really bad. Just relax, Carlos. Pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. Most often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it reminding me of? Alright, here it is. One blood-stained jacket, fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You could tell us it's actually just hot sauce then, huh? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. But what the hell's your point? Hey! Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. You just proved your innocence. My client was arrested wearing his coat. He would have been wearing at the time of the murder. I'm gonna have to censor that. It has a victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves that he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be the key here. I need to draw their attention to what they can. So I was confused at this at the start. I know what it is. So I'm kind of cheating, guys. I'm sorry. Just do me a favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of... cigarette! That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective Lum. I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. The gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? But don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, the gunpowder is weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff, hard to store, prone to misfiring. And when it goes bang, it'll leave behind a awful lot of evidence. What the hell is he talking about, London? Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. Talking my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. For a revolver like this one, you leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So when his coat... If you don't trust your nose, you can check the lab reports. I think they found the gunpowder if my client or his clothes had taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever. That just means he washed it off after shooting her or changed his clothes. That's not possible. Because it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would you really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges that Mr. Flat is facing as soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. That gun is all they had to link Carlos of any shootings. So if it looks like he never fired the gun, I'll admit, things were pretty dicey there. But once I was able to grasp the situation, smaller pieces fell into place easily enough, and not the cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did you get a message? Wait. Did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at the photo of a killer. Wanna bet? A photo of the shooter, if she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got some from Scrubbers. She must be bluffing. No, she's got a picture. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Did we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure, there was, but this isn't from optics. Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the Scrubbers must have managed to dig something up from the outside of the network, which means... Party's over, Counselor. Feast your eyes on this! It's not very... Well, okay, the quality's lagging. Yeah, there is... They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are these goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are always in their favor. Alright, this isn't good. This is a far cry from the worst case scenario I've envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... Well, it's a little bit blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like the time of shooting a neighbor was on their phone, probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. And if their phone was on, its camera would be on. So we managed to get the shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from the image. And there's no way in hell you can pass a judge. Yeah, you're probably right. You couldn't. But I think I know a DA who could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DEA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood was heard of gunshots. And who do we know had their left hand fingerprints? all over that gun. You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm all night. So he must have shot it with his left. Yes, we established that he was weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain and you finally get where you're going. Somehow you end up dry. That doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is, but that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. And that photo is real. If that both are true, that means that the photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we didn't anon the photo's owner and asked him where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. In front of the entrance of the apartment, facing to the south, there was a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We were looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious it was taken from the north window. From the north. From the north. This was from the north, that's why we can clearly see the... It's not that complicated. And the neighbor who got shot must have lived on the other side of the street. We're looking at the bedroom from the north window. She's wrong, she's on opportunity. She's wrong. It was taken from the west. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, detective. The photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? I'm a good detective, I'm misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. Hell, you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's arts tell us the precise location of everything in the room that they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And? Answer wrong, you'll lose more credit. But answer correctly, you can bank out credits for trickier hands down the line. Altogether, that tells us what this photo must have been taken through the west window, as long as you consider how the room was before. It was blocked. Just take a look at the clock in that photo. The clock, what about it? The clock, huh? Miller Gordon's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could count on it, and I keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. No, obviously not. No, the time of death is correct. That's a good question, Detective London, but the answer is no! The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m. Right. Nope, I'm mistaken that. So then what the hell are you on about? There's a clock on the wall, and in this photo, analog stop, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. There's no special about that, nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in that room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense, you wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is the northeastern corner, and my client has informed me before the crime it was hung up on the eastern wall, like so. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artist's rendition. It's very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add it to the arc? And show you my hand? Just because discovery laws compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play it fair, detective. Slip my mind! I'll do that now. Fourth thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this also must be working through the room window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. Victim was shot at 9 p.m. Same time the photo was taken of the shooting. But you want to claim that the clock is still on the eastern wall, then it would have been knocked down during the fighting. You got your logic backwards, detective. The precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. There's only one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. The glass, it fell onto the victim, not under the victim. Glass shards, what about them? Nothing much, really. only that they're on top of the victim's body, not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got thrashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's a detective to have to delve in the minds of a criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over a matter of seconds. What did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things that had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective, but in this case it seems that there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her! And we have a photo right here! I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and more importantly, for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks for your photo. I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger, because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like the hell it can't! The glass shards prove the room was pristine at the time of the shooting, and we know that the room was tossed at that time. My clock was on the eastern wall, which means that the photo was taken from the west. Back to this ship, that's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. Very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your card too early. Now I can steal the paw right out from under you. You're right about the Harway's orientation, but you're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What we're seeing is... the victim? No. 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 Can't be that. Let's go on. Mirror? We're looking at... what is that? You're trying glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across from the room from the western window. And then that would mean... at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing the shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as all we know, my client has had a working arm in a number of weeks. He hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad it was recovered, because it just proved my client couldn't have possibly committed this crime. Should be the end of it, except... so it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice for a gambler. Suncross has gotten its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms of fever, the opponent irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary... client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend. They arrested him for being next to the gun he forensic couldn't have fired. And after being confirmed with the facts, he received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. And instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client and a man without a requisite limb, standing in front of an architecturally impossible hallway. That's... you could have a backup alarm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. I'm to bear my thing. That's the best you got. Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the Black Martin needs to be attuned. He'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of the violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did you manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between a shooting and his arrest? Well? Any objections? Detective? God damn it! That was pretty fun. Show me your hand flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger, and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you think it properly. Public defense doesn't pay her that well. Yeah, that's kind of you to say, detective. But my work is its own reward. Sure, feel exactly the same, counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through, but basically you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation into Heartbreak, huh? Yes. And when the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin, and then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what I... Diane, being gone is bad enough, but a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. What am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There's some context I could give you. Services professionals, doctors. No, you've done enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to defend myself. I tried to convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to know. I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos, I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find, hard to miss, but the blood's always different. A flowering stain, unfurling towards an invisible stun. A perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us. The Rorschach test with a singular universal meaning, vitality at its climax, bursting forth to a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite to the end. But the comical thud of the body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. 8:59 p.m. Bullet number 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Look like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo is enough to have a hassle to outweigh the advantages. Could sell an untapped gun for a fair bit of cash. But cash can't buy you a peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moving around in the dark in here. Must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did you think I was your boyfriend back for an encore with that darling conversation? Ask her now. Hey! Yeah, did you hear that? Old pieces are so goddamn loud. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know that to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? There's the other 5 bullets in the outdoor spaces and small spheres of light, opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Places usually full of trash, but this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean, organized even. The corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's stuff on the floor. By the window, there's broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, no. It's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them. Not a speck of evidence. Nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there has to be some vial of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it. Probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair. I knock the urn. I tear into the sheets with my frustration. Try to savor the shredding. And if it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This was also stupid. Honestly, I'm not an ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. No, I was satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots, yes. But, so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start actively aiming for the heart, but... Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something so none of their business? All of their threads and breakdowns, the goddamn theory crafting, and all of that for the Heartbreak Killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain. From a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no, that's from someone else's name. They came up with it, they spread it, and they marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. Just some reclusive, lonely, socially independent loser who shot 6 people because, well, I'm sure people will come up with some. That he got rejected too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. Now I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room's thoroughly trashed now. If I just walked away from seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now it doesn't match the MO from the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight, really savor it. I'm going home. There's weighty tonight, thick, energized, heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on the every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like those in the short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers, yeah, always the most comfortable. It's always the most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. Sorry, using my left is still. That's okay, you can just initial those spots to go scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city, public transportation. Got in the bed after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly, around 1:40 a.m. A posting defender came up. Decent rate. So it was so late, it was so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer and enough debt that he needed to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. Wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? You're in here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take a job where I already knew more than the cops? Wouldn't it be easy to convince Carlos to plead out? Would have been gotten to pay the same too, but it's easy. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes, more headaches, cold case rotting in the far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one an open shut case. With no more murders matching HK's MO, won't be any more additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Heartbreak can just starve to death out of sight. Almost done. Getting involved in the case was intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Well, like I was smoking inside an interrogation room just to make totally sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder. I learned if I seemed more fixated on than I would have liked, but obviously everything turned out rosy, and worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' filings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too. Funny, I didn't even know her name. Something's the matter? No, sorry, it's just I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died, death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I was just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. She must have died hating me. Present evidence. To tell you the truth, Carlos, it must have been something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it? The pills. Where'd you find that? The pill organizer was found on the victim. She had a grasp in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexazone, prescribed to the help monitors with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky class too for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died, but even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it appeared when she died, what she was doing was sending out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing in his face. Not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever see him again. Overstepping like that is just pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why did I even bother? Just the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. Just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time. Guns in custody, no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to the next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever found you. District Attorney Rockford. Sorry. Can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Ugh. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. Despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has been a remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that the universal energy and only bring it out in the courtroom is part of what makes her so good at the job. It's hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well, actually, I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well, then you must have been relieved of finding out that you won't have to go to the trial against me. No. Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unattended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl, Rays. They've been reporting to me in preparation for the trial. That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Rays told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed, all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about the case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. That's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer? The same serial killer who's surrounded to stay for weeks? He's not using his middle name. He was found with a murder weapon. I can answer that any number of ways. He was found with a murder weapon. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. The room was forced to apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about, his dominant arm modded. With documented sensitivity issues, never could have made the shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave his scorch marks. And not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistic entry angles and probably too heavy to not leave imprints. She's got all that from a glance. I'm sure he's a competent lawyer like yourself pointing all that out the minute you walked in. Of course. She's not being sarcastic. Yeah, of course, it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, right, sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion in the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 out of times out of 100, the who is caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. Well, at least the Heartbreak's maniac will slow down now. He lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there any other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot like other people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know the HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer. Got something catchy in your mind? I don't think shooting him in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills, guaranteed, no matter what kind of life supports mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun, it's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders weren't just a fluke. Oh. Were just a fluke and slip in a mistake? Exactly, a mistake! They got too clean, too efficient, and now they got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives through a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed your room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary! I don't follow. This was the last bullet. The last shot. The 5 others were perfect. And if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. It makes them sound like a child. Childish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose as much as they almost love to win. Your profile tells you all that? No. That part's just takes one to know one. So it's profiling. Is some kind of investigative technique? Theories that the crime who can tell you something about the nature of someone who committed it. Stabbing, overkill. Points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest that they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things that you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments, and there's a lot of recurrent themes in their stories. Detectives say HK doesn't leave behind evidence, so how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm? It's rare to see this animated outside the courtroom. Someone like she's enjoying herself. Sheltered house cat who's picked up a cinema mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated but all playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that this is metaphor. I would be the... You know what I mean? Definitely! And in considering the marksmanship, the detective said that the HK would need insider information on optics. So does that mean the Heartbreak's in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, defies his authority. I'd be like Stallion applied for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. But there must be some kind of connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary? Tertiary? Tertiary? I don't know. Tertiary? Meaning 3. These types can't help but insert themselves. I do not do even resembling that. Wait, if BK is not a cop, how did they know about the blackout timing? Crime meta statistics analysis, probably? Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city, map them out, look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips and... Sorry, technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. So to summarize, You're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type in a city with an 8-digit population. Well, good luck. I don't need luck. I only need more information. I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan, I need more crime scenes. Oh, sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch him. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Woof. Okay, the rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more. Sleep more? Sleep less. But harder! You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. Just doing what we're doing. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first on the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay? Don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Ugh! Doing this all in one sitting is different. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation, and the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of proving. It's what people do. But Emma, it's different. Set it aside. Work it does in other cases. Never bring it up. But in a private corner, that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing. Never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I might as well try and enjoy the view. Episode 0 end. Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? Should I stick with that? I should stick with that. Maybe I should. That would be funny. I'm sorry, I don't know. No, it doesn't really fit. Actually, the voice. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. No, I'll think of a voice later. It may have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on. It'll be fun. Really? Really. Educational, too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. I don't know why this is... Who's gonna put that there? Alright. Escape. It's escape. Auto. Alt. I can't read that. Tab. Tab. Yeah, it says tab. Well, that was episode 0 of The Devil. If you guys want to watch some more videos of this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you know more about my terrible upload schedule. And dislike it if you dislike it. I'm McBowtop. And I'll see you guys later. Oh, before that, this game was made by a very indie company. I'm actually really happy with it, so I will love to play it more. This may be a game I come back to. So, do be expecting more to come, even if you don't subscribe, or like, or comment. If you even sat through the video for that long. It's gonna be a long one. Well, alright. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.